The nation's top two grocery store chains around the country, Kroger and Albertsons, they don't exist in Minnesota. We are the only state, in fact, that neither company has a store.
Instead, our state has a mix of grocery retailers, and we have options for Minnesotans to have doubled. The options for Minnesotans have doubled in the last 20 years or so. Adam Platt is the executive editor for Twin Cities Business, and he kind of dug into the grocery store wars in the Twin Cities. He's joining us here this morning. Hi, Adam. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't have Kroger. We don't have the Albertsons.
Nope.
We did have Roundy's and Rainbow until about 20 years ago.
Right. And then Roundy's left the market to expand in Chicago.
Okay.
And then Kroger bought them.
So that's kind of when we started to really see things shift here, right, in Minnesota, grocery store wise.
Right. There was a perception about a decade ago that this market was kind of under-grocered, that there weren't enough grocery stores. But that's really changed in the last decade or two. They're just outside. Companies like Hy-Vee have moved in. Amazon sells groceries. Walmart has expanded massively. People get groceries at dollar stores now. So the market is really just ballooned.
Let's talk about specifically some of these stores. You say Whole Foods has tripled in scale, Coburn's doubled, Costco quadrupled, and those are just some of the grocery retailers that have shown expansion here.
That's right. That's right. They've grown. This is just the metro area, or the way the Census Bureau defines the metro area, which is actually kind of strange because it goes way up north to Mille Lacs and
really?
Yeah, south down to Windsor County. But anyway, yeah, everybody's added stores. The Twin Cities has grown, population has moved into, so some of that growth has been logical, but some of it has just been they're fighting to see who's going to win.
I mean, Walmart going from one store to 27, like that seems crazy.
Yeah, Walmart didn't have a big presence in the Twin Cities a couple of decades ago, but now they have a large presence.
Well, the Target one didn't really surprise me that much. Only it went from 7 to 55, but Target's based here, so it kind of makes sense that they would open and try to dominate this market, right?
Well, and Target had a strategy shift, and most of the Targets back 20 years ago did not sell fresh grocery. They had packaged goods, but they didn't have a lot of refrigerated groceries. They've shifted their strategy, and now they sell refrigerated fresh grocery at all their stores, basically. And so it's not that there's that many more stores, it's that many more stores selling grocery.
With the availability of groceries. And Aldi is one that we've really seen go from 0 to 49 stores around the Twin Cities.
Yep, Aldi has been growing like crazy. They like to locate near Walmarts.
So they've got a specific strategy.
They're not all near Walmarts. Obviously, there's one on Lyndale in Minneapolis. There's no Walmart near there. And their stuff is, they sell mostly house-branded stuff. That's a strategy that a lot of the grocers are moving away from name brands into store brands because they can make a little more profit on it, and the name brands have been giving them really big price increases over the past few years. And Carrefour, the largest grocer in Europe, has stopped carrying Pepsi products and Frito-Lay products because of the price increases.
No kidding.
Wow.
Hasn't happened yet here, but yeah, that's Aldi's model.
Yeah. So what is it about this market in particular that you think is so unique? I mean, to have this many grocery stores and this much kind of like fighting for everyone's dollar, why is that unique to Minnesota, do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, part of why we are the way we are is because we don't have Kroger and Albertsons in the market.
Yeah.
But I think what sets our market apart, the Twin Cities, is there's so many locally owned grocers. In Chicago, where I grew up, the two major grocery companies now, Jewel-Osco and Mariano's, are both owned by Kroger's or Albertsons. There is not a big locally owned grocer in the Chicago area. Here we have numerous ones. You can include Target, but of course there's Lunds & Byerly's, there's Kowalski's, and they're very strong, and there's a lot of loyalty to them, and I think that's one of the reasons when you talk to experts that the grocery store business up here is as high quality as it is.
Let me ask you this, and you might even not know the answer, but why haven't Kroger and Albertsons come into this market and tried to take over?
Well, the theory is, and there isn't an obvious answer, but the theory is that Lunds & Byerly's, Kowalski's, you have locally owned grocery stores that are strong, Target is strong up here, and that they just haven't seen the opportunity or had the opportunity. One of the things they do mostly now is they buy other chains. A lot of people think, or some of the experts think, that once they finish trying to digest this merger, Kroger and Albertsons are going to look at perhaps buying Cub.
Oh.
And Cub itself right now is the biggest
They are
local
really,
chain.
yeah, they are the largest local grocer up here. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we showed the list a bit ago, and I didn't, point that out. But top of the list there, and that's not even. I'm a little confused how it works with Cub, but they've also got franchisee stores.
Yes, exactly. Some of their stores are company owned and some are owned by franchisees, including Kowalski's. One of the unusual things is Kowalski's operates a Cub in Maplewood, and they manage the store. Cub does not. And it's invisible to the shopper, but that's been their business model, and it kind of works for them because they get the benefit of local ownership and family ownership in some of their stores. Then they have the corporate advantages that a big, large group can deliver to.
I do hear people say the franchisee Cubs have a little bit sort of a different spin maybe on some of the things that are available to buy, and I've never quite, it's very nuanced. I've never been able to quite figure it out.
We didn't look into that, but I'm sure that's possible.
Yeah.
What do you think the variety and options for folks in the Twin Cities? What do you think that means for the shopper? Right? Does that benefit us as grocery shoppers to have such a wide variety of options, or does it end up costing us more? Would it be cheaper if we just had the Kroger and the Albertsons come in and kind of dominate things? What do you think it means for the shopper?
Well, I think, Megan, as you mentioned earlier before we came on the air, the national retailers tend to be more promotional. They do things with coupons and other sorts of promotions that can make shopping cheaper at times. But I think the advantage we get in having the locally owned, I mean, if we think back to the pandemic years, one of the advantages we had in having Cub, which is owned by a grocery distributor, UNFI, and having Lunds and Byerly's and Kowalski's that buy all their stuff locally, is that they were able to keep things in stock when the national retailers weren't because of the relationships they had with distributors. And that was a real advantage. I mean, Trey Lund talked to me about how they had a facility where they make baked goods, and they just went over there when there was a flour shortage and just started bagging it up to sell as straight flour on the grocery shelves.
Wow.
And so that's the kind of thing that locally owned stores can do.
Mm-hmm. Your work, your research here found that this is crazy to me. Amazon is the 5th largest grocer in the United States. They've just blown up everywhere, but they didn't really or have not had a lot of success with the grocery thing here in the Twin Cities.
Well, I mean, they sell a lot of groceries online here.
Yeah.
There's no denying that, but they had planned to open stores. They've opened stores in certain markets in the country, and they identified sites. They even bought sites, I believe, in the Twin Cities, but then they decided not to go forward and open those stores. I think for them, that was less about the Twin Cities and more just a strategic thing about how that business was doing for them.
Sure.
Adam, do you think that our market is oversaturated right now with grocery stores?
It's possible. It's very competitive. There's a lot of options. Sometimes you sort of wonder how there can be, I mean, I think I wrote about how Kowalski's closed a store in Eagan that had only made money 1 year in the last 16. And they talked with me about how the community kept soliciting more grocery stores to come in and encouraging more grocery stores. And they said, that doesn't necessarily work at a certain point. When there's too many stores that in the same small area, they can't all survive.
Yeah, that's interesting because we have a smaller grocery store in our neighborhood that closed for a number of years, and people were just crazy upset over it, and they're like, oh, the grocery store closed, and everyone was clamoring about wanting a new grocery store built, but then they build a new grocery store, and it doesn't seem that full, and I wonder how sustainable it is.
Yeah, it's tough for independents. I mean, there's not many independents left, one-off, two-off stores, family-owned grocery stores in the Twin Cities. It's hard to compete on that level. It's a very low-margin business, as they say.
Sure.
It's pennies in profit on every sale, and so you have to do volume. And if you can't do enough volume, you can't make money.
Very interesting, Adam.
Interesting chat. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
And you can read more about Adam's article, the latest edition of Twin Cities Business.